Developing right now, Meghan Markle is trying to kid the world that all is fine with As Ever, that all is fine with Love Meghan and her relationship with Netflix, despite the fact that there has been no restock of product after weeks and weeks and weeks, and we now learn that there will be nothing new until next year. So, of course, Meghan is really having to lean in to what she believes is working, especially, of course, because Confessions of a Female Founder has been one gigantic flop. So she posted on Instagram, there was so much goodness. Can't you just hear her annoying voice when she writes this? There was so much goodness on the season 1 of With Love Meghan. I didn't see any goodness, let me tell you. On Netflix that didn't make it in. There just wasn't enough time. This scene with sweet Randy Karen is especially fun as you think about summer entertaining tips and tricks. Great weekend to rewatch or catch up on the show as we gear up for season 2 this summer and all the fun to come with As Ever Official. We'll get analysis from Brittany of the Royal News Network in just one moment, but first, take a look at the goodness, the fun that she's talking about, because trust me, it's none of those things.
With pineapple, instead of just cutting it to make the perfect little bite, you follow the wedge. When nature has given you all the cues on how to have a perfect taste of something.
Oh, how fun is that? I love it. Easy. All right, is it gonna work? Am I a good cook?
It's great.
I mean, that's it? That's your behind the scenes clip? That's the outtake? According to Taz posts on this, OMG. Like, so much fun. I can feel my brain cells dying with each and every passing second of Meghan giving more fun tips and tricks and finding beauty in nature's gifts. Is the next episode we watch Meghan peel a banana? And Harry, Meghan's spare, wrote, the gaslighting and carefully worded post is so Meghan clapping back. It's not season 2, Meg. And As Ever, I assume that is a purposeful typo, is dead. Brittany, so what's really going on here? Because Netflix isn't promoting the series, and I'll come to the fact, by the way, in just one moment, that it hasn't been part of this major Netflix event over the weekend. We know there's no new As Ever product coming. That was a really lame clip. I mean, if that's what you're going to deliver to try and get people into the show, it's like, wow, nothing was left on the cutting room floor, clearly. What's going on?
Her social media strategy makes no sense to me whatsoever. I mean, the clip isn't exciting. It's not particularly interesting. And for me, I've been to Hawaii and we went on a snorkeling trip and I had them, they cut fresh pineapple from us and it was the best pineapple ever. They didn't do that though. They had a really cool way they cut it to maximize the pineapple, because I watched that clip and all I can think of is there's still a lot of pineapple there that you're not utilizing at all with this weird trick. And Meghan looks like she's stabbing the pineapple, like she's stabbing, her failing reputation or something instead. And so the whole thing, I think, is just messy and it looks boring and dull. I have no clue who her guest is. They're complete unknown. And I also thought it was interesting based on how she described it. It almost was described as if the whole thing was considered to be season 1. There was going to be one season. And then sort of towards the end, Netflix decided to cut it in half and have season 1 and 2 to sort of try to maximize it in a way to, my thought initially was to extend the life of Meghan's products, to make it so that there was one season before the products launched, and then after a series of products, then we would get the second season. But I mean, she's not even going to be promoting As Ever at all. She can't even promote As Ever on her show because she has no As Ever products for season 2 as well, I would assume. So this whole thing is a mess. It's an epic disaster. And I think Netflix should be embarrassed to have their name on this train wreck.
They really should. And I wonder if they are, Brittany. Because look at this post from Foster yesterday. Things that make one really wonder who is really behind the story is that Meghan Markle has a season 3 of her cooking flop and that Ted Sarandos adores her and calls her a rock star. Meghan wasn't even invited or mentioned at this event. He's talking about Tudom, which was the huge Netflix conference hosted in Los Angeles yesterday. That doesn't seem like a rock star to me. Maybe I'm just missing it. If you can find her name or show, please let me know. Now, Tudom, Brittany, is this huge convention held in Los Angeles where all of the buzzworthy, social media friendly Netflix shows get massive promotion rights. So like the new Squid Game trailer was released there. But there's lots of room. Not one mention of With Love. Nothing. No drop, no secret behind the scenes footage, no video from Meghan. So while I don't believe Netflix is going to drop her because Ted Sarandos has gone all in, we know that. He's clearly, as we've discussed before, waiting for the post-divorce TV series deal. At the same time, I really get the sense Netflix is embarrassed by their association with Love. It's almost like, yeah, we've got that on because we know that there's hate watching going on and we know that she's part of the culture. But this is not a show that we're proud of. This is not a show that we're going to talk about amongst the big parts of our slate.
No, and if you watch it, I didn't watch all of it, but I watched a couple portions of it because there's a couple shows on there that I like. And One Piece, they mentioned they had 100 million people apparently watch the show. And that's a huge number. And Megan's number was only 2.6 million. And so you compare those, and those are very, very different. And I would imagine what Netflix has seen is Meghan's show have a hot week and then crater her into oblivion because nobody else is watching it. That's what I would interpret the numbers to be. I think the numbers as well demonstrate that Meghan's show, a lot of views in the episode 1 and 2, which they don't tell us, and then it cratered after that. And so I think Netflix, or at least some of the smart people at Netflix, are aware that not only is Meghan's show not as popular as they would like people to believe, at the same time as well, she's not a fan attraction because the whole point of the event was to kind of hype up the fans of the show. So you have Wednesday, you had Squid Game, you had Stranger Things, you had One Piece. Like those were kind of, I think, the big tent pole, and they had the WWE and a couple other things scattered throughout. So they had these big tent pole series, and Meghan's clearly not part of that. And so they didn't feature her. She didn't get a mention. There was no single video. I was actually watching the red carpet to see if she would show up, and she didn't. So I think Netflix is aware that there's a weird car crash mentality surrounding Meghan, but they don't want to put too much stock in it either. And they definitely don't want her appearing at an actual fan event because she definitely does not fit in with that crowd. And I think only maybe 10 people would show up as her fans.
Yes.
That's a little bit of exaggeration, but
No, I totally hear what you're saying, Brittany. Now, look, we've got more on this hilarious rejection of Meghan Markle by Jennifer Aniston. So in case you missed it, let me take you through the original story, which was revealed by Radar Online. She doesn't want her jam. Meghan Markle awkwardly love-bombing Jennifer Aniston with cringy gifts and invites ahead of the Friends actress's move to the Divas neighborhood. They reported Meghan Markle is on the hunt for big-name friends and Jennifer Aniston is still top of the list. Sources tell us the Duchess is using the actress's recent stalking ordeal to love-bomb her with gifts including her posh jam in a bid to win her over ahead of the actress's move to her Montecito neighborhood. According to insiders, Markle has been sending her a series of gifts, including artisanal jam and luxury wellness products in an effort to establish a connection. Meghan is thrilled that Jennifer is moving to Montecito. She's been trying to get close to her for years, and now that they're neighbors, she sees this as the perfect opportunity. But Aniston wants nothing to do with the Duchess. Another pal said Jen appreciates the gestures, but is focused on settling into her new home and prioritising her safety. She's not looking to expand her social circle at the moment. She also sees Meghan as poisonous and wants nothing to do with the drama she creates around herself and with the royal family. Jen has quietly binned Meg's gifts and not replied to any of her desperate invites for chats. She knows Meg also wants her as a guest on her podcast, but she's having none of it. She doesn't want her jam or her friendship. And Brittany, it was pointed out to me over the weekend by Hollywood sources that the thing that Radar Online actually missed in their article is that Jennifer Aniston is most likely being advised over this by Courtney Cox. Those two, obviously we know them, don't we, as Monica and Rachel from Friends. But off camera, Brittany, they are truly the best of friends, right? Like out of all of the Friends cast, these two have stayed super, super, super close over the years. And so, of course, Courtney Cox is going to have told Jennifer about the fact that she ended up in Prince Harry's autobiography Spare over the magic mushrooms revelation. And so it seems like maybe there may have been a warning, put it that way, from Courtney towards Jennifer. What do you make of this story?
I'm not surprised at all that Jennifer Aniston would want to keep her distance from Meghan. This seems to be what a lot of Hollywood A-listers are doing, is they may be in some ways, friendly in case the connection might benefit them somewhere down the line, but they don't really want to be friends with her. They don't want to be close to her. I don't think Jennifer Aniston likes any sort of drama in her life. So this idea of getting associated with Meghan, it brings immediate drama, immediate criticism, and you get sort of wrapped into the toxic vortex that is Harry and Meghan. And I think of Gwyneth Paltrow as well. Yes, Gwyneth and Meghan are neighbors, and Meghan and Gwyneth had this little bit on Gwyneth's social media, but beyond that, like, Gwyneth is keeping her distance. Like, she's not being rude, she's not being, let's say, blacklisting Meghan or something like that. She's just like, we can be sort of friendly, but we're not really friends. And I think that's definitely the approach Jennifer Aniston is taking. And it's a smart one. There's just no reason to bring Meghan really into any sort of like friendship with her. It just seems to drag other people down. And so and you don't want the failure that is Meghan and all that she's done is to be affecting you. And Jennifer probably just wants to focus on her safety and focus on her very well-respected career.
Honestly, Brittany, I have zero sympathy for what's happened to Gwyneth Paltrow, though. She has well and truly been Markle. But do you remember? I mean, I'm sure you do remember, but just in case you don't, slight reminder, when With Love Meghan came out, it was very obvious that Gwyneth was making a dig at her. She made that Instagram video where she was sort of making her breakfast, but there were just too many small little hints that this was at least a tongue-in-cheek dig at Meghan Markle. Then she gave her Vanity Fair cover interview, and she wasn't even hiding the digs at Meghan Markle. It was like, oh, maybe I need to go and take her a welcome gift if I can get past her security. The digs were very open in that interview, but Gwyneth didn't like the fact that people like us picked up about it, were talking about it, then it got into the mainstream media, and so she decided to team up with Meghan Markle for this video, even though they were not friends, they hadn't met. And of course, what is happening now, and I love seeing the colour draining from Gwyneth Paltrow's face when she realises this, is because she's pretended to have a friendship with Meghan Markle, is all she's been asked about, even though what she's wanting to do is promote her Goop products. So there was an incredible moment when Entertainment Tonight went down this path. And you've got to look at Gwyneth's facial expressions. You've got to listen to her answers and realize the huge regret that she now has for allowing herself to be Markled. Watch. But first, if you're anything like me, you've spent so much time trying to find the perfect skincare treatments for your face, only to realize that you've probably been neglecting the skin down here, right? On your neck. As I've got older, I'm in my 40s now, yes I am, I've noticed that as a massive oversight because the neck is on display all the time, yet so many folk treat it as an afterthought in their routine. I certainly fell into that trap, and I know from speaking to so many women in our Outspoken audience that the skin on your neck is thinner, more delicate, and less oily than facial skin, which means it really requires something different. And I have that something different for you. Oh my goodness, it is the best product, Go Pure's Tighten and Lift Neck Cream. And it is so silky smooth, smells so good. I absolutely love using it. And it is a product transforming the necks of women, and let me say, some men too, all across the globe. This is a really gorgeous product, actually, and you will see noticeable differences within just weeks. Outspoken viewers and listeners get 25% off Go Pure 2 using the code DAN at checkout. So just head to gopurebeauty.com/Dan, Use the code DAN, D-A-N, and you are all set. Now, GoPure's proprietary firming complex, it's designed to visibly firm and reduce the skin on your neck and chest in as little as 4 to 8 weeks. In a consumer study as well, 100% of users said their skin looked more supple and 97% noticed a firmer appearance. Indeed, GoPure's full line of science-backed skin and body care have delivered for over 100,000 real women with real results. It's dermatologist recommended. It's also cruelty-free. I know that's important for many animal lovers out there. Plus, with over 1 million jars sold, I don't really think we can call this beauty secret a secret anymore. So tighten, lift, and restore elasticity in your neck, because your skincare routine shouldn't stop at your jawline. Let me repeat that limited time offer for Outspoken viewers and listeners, 25% off. That's huge. Just go to GoPure, use the code DAN when you check out. The website address, gopurebeauty.com/Dan. Use the code DAN at checkout and you are all set. And please, after you buy, do us a favor where they ask when you heard about GoPure, tell them it was after watching Outspoken. But now, back to the show.
A Goop as Ever collab with your friend Meghan Markle.
Collabs are always good. You know, people love a collab. So thanks for the idea.
Okay.
You heard it here first.
I genuinely do not understand this.
I feel like you two are very similar brains, though, and I feel like that collaboration would mesh well. What has your friendship with her meant to you?
Well, she's my neighbor in Montecito, and I don't know her all that well, but she's totally lovely, and every interaction I've had with her has been wonderful. And I just moved up there, so I'm getting to know all my neighbors.
I mean, Brittany, it's awkward. It's horrendous, but this is why we've seen so many celebrities, even in the past week, from Jennifer Aniston to Dolly Parton, realize that it's so essential that they don't have that association. And I think Gwyneth made a massive mistake.
Well, I can see where she was trying to go, is I think she was trying to play into a little bit of the media hype, and it sort of, let's say, went a bit more sideways than she wanted it to. But at the same time, Gwyneth's company Goop is very, very successful, whereas Meghan's is not. So this idea that Gwyneth was ever threatened by Meghan is completely ridiculous. But in that bit, I mean, it's very Hollywood. This is like the entertainment reporters, they have no clue what to ask, and so they're not very good. So we see this sort of random question, and Gwyneth's like, well, I'm here to promote something else. I don't really care about Meghan Markle. And so definitely once you associate, you do get more questions. I'm sure Gwyneth is hoping it peters out, and it will, especially if Gwyneth doesn't really associate with her anymore. And that's 100% going to be the case. There will be zero collaboration between As Ever and Goop. I can almost guarantee it, because it just doesn't benefit anybody from associating with Meghan. Even if it's for attempting to have a funny bit, it just doesn't seem to ever go the way people anticipate.
No, it really doesn't. Brittany, I wanted to show you this interview that Pierers Morgan has given recently to the Dear Me podcast, because it's got a lot of people talking about how Harry has been so intellectually dishonest in terms of the way that he presents his mother, Princess Diana's relationship with the media. Because you know all of this battle that he's taken on, Brittany, he claims to be in her name, in Diana's name. Now, the problem that Harry has when it comes to Pierers Morgan, who, remember, is his absolute arch nemesis. Like, Harry genuinely believes that one day he's going to get Pierers Morgan locked up, thrown in jail for phone hacking at the Daily Mirror newspapers from years and years and years ago, even though there's been a full police investigation, Brittany, into it, and nothing went forward. So I think Piers is right to talk about the truth, and he's not doing it in a negative way about Diana. You'll see this, but just the reality, Brittany, that Prince Harry isn't telling the truth about his mother's relationship with the media. I'll get your reaction, but just watch this podcast clip first.
have lunch with Diana. I used to talk to her on the phone quite regularly. I used to send her stories that we were going to run, and she would edit them and fax them back to me. So, you know,
That's cool.
What a crazy life experience.
Yeah, and I really liked Diana. She was fantastic. Diana worked the media exactly the same way the media worked Diana. She was the biggest celebrity in the world, arguably the biggest celebrity there's ever been.
And sharp.
Very sharp, and knew exactly how to play the media. And that's not to say there wasn't lots of intrusion into her life. There was. It's not to say some of that wasn't unwarranted. It was. It's not to say she didn't get more attention than anybody else because she was the biggest star. She did. And so it can't have been easy at all. But did Diana manipulate the media ruthlessly when she wanted to? Absolutely. She was mesmerizing, incredibly charming, very smart, very funny. But very like, you know, she wanted to make a point in front of William about where the line is for the media. And I totally understood that. And it was good fun. I mean, I remember with William, I think it was around that time that we got offered pictures of a poster he had on his wall at Eton College, which had "Don't drink and drive, have a spliff and fly." And we bought that. We bought that for, I think, £2,000 off the market and never published it. So when they talk about irresponsible tabloids, I've got a lot of stories like that of stuff we didn't publish. So I'm not after any gratitude, but I do think in the scales of balance between the media and the royal family, the media has been as much a part of the longevity of the royal family when many other monarchies have disappeared through Europe.
That's an interesting
One of the
perspective.
last standing ones is the British monarchy, and a lot of that is because the media still fuel them and portray them as the biggest stars on the planet.
So, Brittany, it's fascinating, isn't it? Because number one, Piers Morgan has got the receipts. Whatever you think of him, he knows directly. I mean, to be able to directly say, no, we bought that poster off the market. It never ran. And, you know, Diana was sending back faxes because obviously that was the technology of the time. She was actually editing the stories herself on faxes. Does it not just blow apart the entire narrative that Prince Harry has been propagating about the media and the media's treatment of his mother for all of these years? Like, sure, the paparazzi is different, Brittany. Like, we can have a separate conversation about the paparazzi, but Harry isn't going after the paparazzi, Brittany. Like, he's going after Murdoch. He's going after the journalists.
It's very fascinating. And Diana was a master at media image. She really was. She was able to utilize the media for her benefit. Now, sometimes it went too far. Sometimes she wanted them there and then she wanted them to leave and they wouldn't leave. But Harry's sort of vendetta against the media has been wholly based, you could say, on his belief that his mother was just this massive victim by the British press when she was actively engaged in it. And I even see this sometimes on X and different social media outlets when you say, oh, the Daily Express ran thing. Well, it's a tabloid. You can't trust the tabloid. It's like, but the Daily Express does have their part of the Royal Rota, so they do have some access. And so this perception that Harry has thrust into the public space still exists and smears. Actually, I think the British media could have a decent case against Prince Harry and defamation for how he's tried to smear them and discredit them because he just doesn't want to see the reality that Diana's relationship with the press was much more nuanced than he wants to believe, because he's created, I think, this saintly figure of his mother in his mind. And it's something where she was much more complex than he wants to believe. I think William has a very deep understanding of his mother, where Harry has a very, you could say, flimsy version of his mother that's sort of based on media stories and those sorts of things, and really believes this track that the paparazzi and the media were the ones who destroyed Diana's life, when it was really, she had a relationship with them, they had a relationship with her. This was much more complicated than I think Harry ever wants to believe. And he has to, of course, put this vision of his mother on his wife. And Meghan, unfortunately for her, is nowhere near Diana's level of sophistication when it comes to the media or PR or charisma or warmth or anything. Meghan has zero qualities of Diana, except for maybe some more of those toxic elements. Other than that, the women could not be more different, which is why everything's gone so south for Harry. I'm sure in Harry's mind, their escape to America was a way to fulfill his mother's ambition, and it's gone so wrong for him. But I have no sympathy for him either when it comes to that.
Oh my God, I agree. I just agree. Like, Meghan is no Diana. She can cosplay all she wants. She can try and do the facial expressions all she wants, which she's clearly trying to perfect. We saw it in the Jamie Kern-Lima podcast interview. She can try and dress up in Diana clothes as much as she wants. We see through it all. The reason why Diana was such a special individual, I would agree with Piers, actually. I would argue the biggest celebrity in the world, definitely the biggest celebrity of my lifetime, given I wasn't alive when JFK and Marilyn Monroe were on this earth, is because she was just a totally authentic person who we saw grow up, yes, with lots of flaws, but flaws that she owned and never tried to shy away from. Just one quick word, Brittany, please, on Meghan's social media game. Because did you see this post on As Ever, right, which she thought was sort of pointing to how cute it was that she had her dog with her and these vegetables, and she wrote the unofficial quality inspector of this morning's garden haul. But actually, Brittany, it's been picked up upon the fact that this can't have been a haul of homegrown vegetables because a whole load of them aren't actually in season. Now, I know that you could say that this is like a rookie error or not that big a deal, but it sort of is, isn't it? When she's literally trying to sell herself as a lifestyle doyenne and she keeps being caught out on these things.
Right. And when you were just talking about Diana being so authentic, Meghan is just the exact opposite. And this picture is a great example of that. I mean, there's nothing authentic about that picture. Half the vegetables probably came from the store. She probably actually cleaned them before putting them in this basket. We don't even know if this was morning. This could have been 2 weeks ago. It could have been 2 months ago. It could have been 2 years ago. We have no idea when this particular picture was taken. But of course, she has to show off her nice, $1,000 pair of shoes. And I mean, is it not unhealthy to allow your dog to sniff and maybe lick some of the vegetables in your thing? I think that would not be the smartest move. And so the whole thing, though, it just reeks of inauthenticity, which is what has plagued Meghan's social media the entire time. I think it's why it's really struggled to grow well, is because people look at it and go, well, that's a nice picture, but it doesn't mean anything. She's not doing anything deeper. It's just very, very surface level. And I think we are all sophisticated enough at this point about media games and what people do on social media to know that it's basically everything she puts on there is pretty much totally fake. And that does not endear her to an audience. And it's just more aggravating than anything else. And it's not a surprise that when it comes to authenticity, Meghan just really struggles with that game. She'd rather give you a fake picture with vegetables that weren't grown in her garden than actually being real about the struggles of actually tending a garden. So it's just all fake. It's all fakery. It's all for the cameras, nothing else. There's nothing deeper.
Superbly put. As you've always said, Brittany, her social media strategy is just so bad. It's so bad.
It's so bad.
So
It's
dated. It's so just not where we're at all. And she always gets it wrong. So this one did make me laugh. Please do, by the way, if you want the first access to our uncancelled Royal After Show here on Outspoken every single weekday, subscribe to my Substack. The address, www.outspoken.live. Substack is a really brilliant platform because it's entirely focused on free speech. I get to build a direct connection with you. You can message me there. We've got a community going there. And it also means that you protect me from cancellation from big tech and all of the lawfare that comes from covering someone like Prince Harry. Brittany, thank you so much. And of course, please do subscribe to the Royal News Network on YouTube for all the world's best royal analysis from royal families actually across the world, not just here in the UK. So great to speak to you, Brittany. We'll see you next week.
See you next week.
Thank you so much for watching Dan Wootton Outspoken. Please click on my face just to the bottom left to subscribe to this brand new independent news source and turn on the notification bell so you'll be alerted to our brand new live shows, uncancelled interviews, and special royal episodes. Outspoken is also now available as a podcast, so you can listen to the show every weekday on the go, wherever you are.